Hey y'all, we're back. And before we go into the rest of the other lessons we're going to have, we're going to be sharing with you guys different counseling scenarios we've had over the years. Because we believe that it's not an isolated situation. I
Right,
believe that
right,
everybody's probably suffering from it from one degree to another.
right,
And
right.
so we're just going to share those things with you as it relates to what we're teaching so that you kind of get a real sound understanding of what we're teaching and know how to apply that to yourself.
And then realize that everybody at one time or another have some issues in their marriage and the way they talk to one another.
That's
Uh,
right.
and we definitely would leave the name anonymous, but we want to talk about their situation because we have a couple that we was counseling with at one time. Most of the time, David, would you agree that it's about people's perception that
Oh,
really keeps
definitely.
them the way you talk to me, and he see it. He's not talking to her in any kind of way, but she can't respond to him because of the way he's talking to her.
Exactly. And I think the thing to understand about perception is that in our dealings with couples is that when they come in, they're so broken up
Hmm. Hmm.
from stuff that has happened over time and it's being repeated.
Hmm.
It's not this one time stuff we're talking about a repeat of hurt.
Right.
And for a woman particularly, Ronnie will talk about the guy, but for a woman, she can feel real beat up over a few times
Hmm.
because her problem is, I don't like how you talking to me, I don't like how you dealing with me, and then you ain't listening
Hmm.
to nothing I gotta tell you. And so she feels beat up, and so guess what she does? She retreats.
Hmm.
She holds all that stuff in, and by the time she just gets really fed up, it's really nothing else can be done because she gonna let him have it with all 4 feet.
Hmm.
Okay, and so, but what we've seen over the past is that in her perception of his inability to speak to her the way she believed he should, she felt like he didn't love her, number one, and that he didn't care about her feelings.
Hmm.
So Ronnie would talk about it from a male perspective in terms of perception and how that stuff plays itself out.
I think one of the things that guys need to understand is this: just because you don't went read the Bible, and the Bible is true, and we know that, but you have to be careful how you deliver what God is saying for you to deliver to your wife.
Exactly.
Because your perception of what he's saying may be different from her perception. And what I'm saying is, I don't think it's so much that people are sinning so much in there, it's their perception that's got them off track. And what I'm saying is that a lot of times, because I remember in my early years, sometimes we would take that stuff literally, is what the scripture is saying. And then what God is calling us to see is that everything in here is not literate. It's true. But say for instance, like if God has called me to be how do I want to put this is the thing that I'm saying is this is that we have to be careful. We have to take in mind the person we're dealing with. In other words, if I got a wife that's been damaged, I can't just walk up to her and just demand that she treat me the way it's saying, because first of all, I got to be able to restore her first. I got to be able to restore her first. I got to help her understand what it is that I'm asking her to do, because she may not be able to see my perception because my perception is different from what I'm saying to her. Because
Okay, now, but let's first talk about, I know that, but let's first talk about what, how a man deals with a woman who's weighing him out, and his perception is that she does not care about what he's saying. Because I think that is the crux of the problem, is that you got two people passionate about what they need to tell each other, but our perceptions are off about how you bringing it to me and what I perceive you really saying.
first of all, we do have to understand that perceptions are different, and we have to respect each other's perception. That when you tell me when you weigh me out with you saying that I'm not speaking to you in the right way, I have to understand what you're saying. What does it mean that I'm not speaking to you in the right and not saying the things that you need to say? Because remember, we said the thing is to seek peace, not to be right. is to seek peace. So I need to seek to understand what your perception is. What am I saying to you that causes you to think that, hey, I'm not dealing with you right?
Yeah.
And I have to work that. I have to really work that. And so I'm seeking to get across, because remember, we're talking about knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. I have to have the knowledge of what I'm doing. I have to understand it. And then I have to understand you in order to convey the wisdom that God has given me to deal with you on.
Yeah.
Because that perception thing is what separates us. Because I don't see it like, or she don't see it like I see it. I see it that God is calling me to wash my wife in the Word. I literally go do that. You understand what I'm saying? But her perception is that you don't have to come beating me over the head with it all the time. She's saying that you need to talk to me in a way that's gentle. You need to talk to me in a way to where you respect me and you love me, and that I believe that. You understand what I'm saying? Because God has called me to love her. But sometimes we just take this word as men and we just drive it into our wives.
Yeah.
Without understanding what her perception of love really is. Because the fact is that sometimes we don't understand our wife's perception.
Yeah, and I think it's not just in the washing of the word and all that. I'm talking about basic conversation between a husband and a wife where she's perceiving you to be unloving, not willing to hear, and not understanding where she's coming from. And he too. He could be feeling the same thing.
And when we feeling that, we at a high level of pride. We got a high level of pride going on when we feeling that, hey, you're just not really understanding what I'm saying. Because I think I'm conveying myself quite perfectly. But you saying to me that I'm showing you a lack of love, because that's basically what it is, that I'm showing you a lack of love. And I may not see it that way.
I know, that's my point. But this is what I'm trying to drive home here, is that the possibility of a misunderstanding can be there.
Of course.
And so perception is everything. Even if that's what your intentions were.
Right.
I can perceive that to be different than what you're doing. And so what I'm saying to people today is that if I walk into you and say, Ronnie, I don't like how you're talking to me, I don't like what you're saying to me, and I don't think that you are being patient or understanding, you can't come back to me and say, no, I'm not. I mean, you can say that, but you still gonna have an argument.
Right.
That I believe that is what you're saying.
Okay.
And so what I'm saying is that what people have to understand is that when you have that kind of dialogue going on, somebody got to let it go.
Well, and we know that if you say that to me, then I don't have to agree that that's what's happening. But the fact is, I have to respect that that's what you say.
Absolutely, that's what I'm trying to get at. That's what I'm trying to get at, because I think when we've counseled people over the years, and even in this one particular counseling session we had, the woman was saying, "Look, I don't see that what you're saying.
Right.
You telling them you meant that,
right.
But that's not how that sounded to me when you was doing it." So what they had was a he saying I did, she saying you didn't, and it was a back and forth. And all I'm saying is that the person who's doing the talking has to understand that's her perception, and you need to do something with that.
One thing that we all have to do, and especially men, we could say something in our head, but I ain't saying it to you.
Exactly.
And so when I'm conveying to you, I'm thinking that you already know what I'm saying.
Exactly.
And so that's where the perception thing come in wrong, because I'm thinking in my head that this is what I'm saying, but I haven't said it to you.
Exactly.
And so you saying
a woman too.
Right.
A woman can do it
but
too.
Men, the reason why I say men, because men don't a lot of time have the ability to explain themselves when it comes down to what they really want. Because men don't do a whole lot of talking.
Yeah, I know it, but women don't either when they get too full. You can tell how excited I am.
She about to jump off the thing.
Because our time is running out. We'll come back in a few minutes with the rest of what we got to talk about.
Hey, just hold on. May God bless you.